Basil here with Basil's Garage. Behind me today is four-wheel campers. Finn and I are on a little road trip right now. We're gonna be traveling out of the shop truck this week. This is a Ford F-250 that we use a lot, been all over North America in it. This is the four-wheel campers main facility. So we're in Woodland, California. This is where they manufacture all of their campers, as well as where all of the supporting staff is at. So while we were passing through, I thought it'd be a cool idea to give you a full walkthrough of the facility. So we're gonna jump into the showroom to start and show you all of the different model campers that Four Wheel Campers has. It's actually not even all the models, as well as walk over into the factory and show you how a camper is built from start to finish. If you don't know who we are the San Diego dealer for Four Wheel Campers. So my name is Basil, I'm the owner of the business. I've been traveling out of different campers for almost 10 years now, all over North America, Mexico, Newfoundland, Alaska, all over the place. Our facility sells campers, obviously, but we also build trucks. So we outfit vehicles for travel. We do suspensions, bumpers, wheels, tires, camper modifications, all sorts of stuff. Happy to help out with getting your camper, as well as building your truck. But while we're here, let's take a look at what Four Wheel's got. So in here is the showroom. Four Wheel Campers has several different models in here, everything from the camp out to slide-in units to flatbed units. We can jump into a couple of them and show you what they've got going on. There's a Granby side dinette here. The Granby is the longest model camper that they make. This is designed for a 8-foot full-size truck. This one's a well-optioned camper. It's got underbed storage, furnace, sink, stove, fridge, and a side dinette seating configuration. Next to the Granby is the Hawk Plus. This is the newest camper from Four Wheel Campers. It's a big bad version of their standard Hawk that they've offered for years now. This thing's really rad. It's a great unit for someone as an individual that wants to comfortably travel full time, or a family. It's got 40 gallons of water, huge power system, the works. Over on this side, again, more slide-in campers. We've got a Project M back here, wide range of both price points, options, colors, features, all sorts of stuff. If you do want to come and see a camper, the factory is a great place to do so because they have a ton of different options here for you to come and see. Their showroom hours are Monday through Saturday. Someone's usually here to happily show you a camper, take a camper sale, and see what else you need. So now we are entering into the production side of Four Wheel Campers. To start, this is the install bay. So through us, you can purchase a camper and have it installed in San Diego, or you can actually do a factory pickup. And that's actually available through all dealers. You can select the factory as your install location, make a trek out to Sacramento here, Woodland, and get your camper installed. A lot of people do it, make a road trip out of it, come see the factory. It's a really cool place to come and hang out and see. We are going to start this off all the way back at the back side of this building where they build the campers from the raw material. So we're gonna start in the welding zone and then work our way all the way through to see the brand new campers. So we'll walk up the center of it all the way to the back right now. So we're here at the start of the production line. So every camper starts as raw material. The camper's frame is an aluminum construction. Everything from this point until the campers are finished are done completely here in-house. So raw aluminum material is here, goes on the chop saw, gets cut down, and then Four Wheel Campers uses jigs to build all of the side panels. So they've been doing this for over 50 years. Everything about these things is dialed. So they are, for example, here building a Hawk front dinette. So this is a rear wall of a Hawk front dinette. All the aluminum gets laid out on the table, welded. After they're done with this point, it gets moved over onto this next production line over here, where they will take the side panels and attach them together. So right here is a Raven rear and front wall. So after this point, they will run the aluminum that goes in between the front and rear walls and kind of make it more of a standalone unit that doesn't need to be held up. For example, this is a Hawk flatbed camper. Cool thing, this is actually my Hawk flatbed camper. So we just ordered a new camper for our shop Super Duty build. This is going to be my wife and I's personal travel rig. Really cool to see it here in production and see 4-wheel working on it. So from this point, obviously this camper looks a little weird because it's upside down, but from this point, they will flip the camper up and over and then continue working on it. So this is a Hawk slide-in camper over here. It's been flipped up and over. The whole upper portion of the camper is a single piece of aluminum, and then up front here, to make the classic 4-wheel camper's nose, these two pieces here will get wrapped and pulled together, and that'll give it the classic curved look that a 4-wheel camper has. Another cool thing to look at is this camper does not have underbed storage, so the profile here is a lot thinner than this Hawk flatbed that comes standard with underbed storage. So if you get an underbed storage option, the campers are actually physically taller and longer. Let's jump into the rest of the production zone. So the welding zone is the start of it all. After the camper's frame has been assembled, it comes into this hallway. So this is a long run that's usually full of campers. We're here on a Saturday right now, so it's a nice, quiet, slow Saturday. As campers will move down this long hallway, they will get assembled from their feeder departments. So for example, we have the wood shop over here, wall and skin, trimming, system prep, electrical. We're gonna jump into all the other departments. We'll start off with the wood shop. So here in the wood shop, this whole back wall is all raw materials. So everything, again, starts off as a sheet of plywood. They'll pull the plywood off the wall and then bring it over here onto the CNC tables. So we've got gray, Baltic birch, and a couple different options here. Once we get over into here, they'll drop the piece of ply onto the CNC table where they're able to cut all of the bits and pieces out that will be assembled and go into your camper. These CNC machines are really cool because 4-wheel is able to repeat the same thing over and over and over again, guaranteeing that all of that cabinetry fits back together perfectly for every single camper. I'm sure it's a lot of data to be able to have all of these different cabinet pieces and stuff for all of the different campers, but it allows them to make a quality camper every single time. So over here is the wall and skin and trimming zone. So this is where they are going to put the installation in the campers and attach the outer skins and all of the little trimming bands to make it watertight and kind of more of a complete unit that's not just an aluminum shell. Next to that is the system prep zone. So this is a cool little zone. This is where they install and test all of the water heaters and furnaces. All of the propane appliances probably is a good way of thinking of it. So over here, you've got a bank of Truma furnaces and Truma water heaters. Over on the other side, they have a little test zone. Every water heater, furnace, and fridge is tested to make sure it's operational before it gets installed inside of your camper. So all of the fridges are isotherm fridges. They have a 65, 85, and 130 liter option. And again, they test all of these before it gets installed. So all of the water system components are over here. So they have fill hoses, stainless steel braided lines for the pressurized system, and then propane lines are all right in here. The appliance will be installed into the camper, and then from there, the electrical team will take over. Right now, like we said, it's a Saturday, so it's a little bit slower around here. A lot of the campers are in the later production phase. So once we get a little bit further down the line, we'll be able to kind of take a peek inside of those campers and see where they're at in their stages. Over in electrical land, lots of cool stuff going on. So I'm definitely a bit of an electrical nerd, so it's cool to see this. Again, 4-wheel does everything in-house. Every camper gets a full custom harness made for it. So depending on what options you have, it gets a specific harness made for that camper. There is a lot of different wiring that goes into these campers. 4-wheel has made some really, really good, huge leaps in their power systems. They've switched over to lithium batteries, red arc chargers, and just a lot of good upgrades with the power systems, with both the wiring quality and everything in the last couple of years that have made a huge difference in how those campers operate. This wiring land is really cool. It's a good representation of how much time goes into each camper to ensure that it all functions well. All of these wires are pre-cut and laid out so that when they go and do assembly on their campers, they're able to just lay in all of these harnesses and wires, and everything operates as it should. So for example, this is a harness that's being built for a full-size slide-in camper. As you can see on the harness, everything is labeled. That helps with the initial installation as well as all future servicing of the camper. So if anything ever happens or you want to modify your camper, you're able to see what in the heck that wire goes to, trace it down, and then resolve the issue or modify it how you'd like to. So some of the wiring harness will be installed within the camper's walls, while other parts of the harness are going to be installed within the cabinetry inside the camper, as well as a lot of the electronics like the red arc chargers. So down here, you can see we've got some full harnesses here laid out on the shelves that are ready to be dropped into the cabinets. So after the woodworking team's done, they'll bring some of the cabinets over here and start assembling them with electronics. So for example, this camper has a red arc BC-DC 1225, so 25 amp DC to DC charger, as well as a Victron DC to DC for the Starlink port on the outside wall of the camper. Water pump back in there, and depending on what options you get, a lot of this stuff will change. So if you're gonna go and get like a full Red Arc Manager 30, which I saw a couple of them sitting over on the shelf over there, that drastically changes how that wiring harness is built and how your wiring is laid out within the cabinetry, depending on what you option within the camper for electronics. Pretty sure this is my Hawk Flatbeds harness. So I optioned mine with the Red Arc Manager 30 and Rogue system. So I'll have the Red Arc screen with all the switching capabilities. So this lives in the front seating area on the Hawk Flatbed. After the wiring harness and cabinetry have fully been installed in the campers, it goes over into roofing land. So again, four-wheel campers will assemble the roofs here in-house. They cut to size. Lost my sandal. Four-wheel campers uses the single piece of aluminum roof, one giant piece of aluminum that will drop down on top of it and then wrap around the corners. So they'll have similar aluminum frames sitting over here back on the jig tables, where then they will take a mega roll of aluminum roofing, pull a big sheet out across the table and lay it down, and then they'll take your roof and flip it over on top of it, where then they'll start wrapping up the corners to be able to make that roof unit sealed and tight. You can also see there's a bunch of wiring up in the roofs for solar, for fans, for lights. That's all pre-run within the roofs. Over here you can see they have the lift panels in place. So four-wheel campers classic has the front and rear lift panels that'll help keep the roof in the correct orientation as you're lifting it and lowering it. These are the final stages of the roof assembly. So this one, for example, has tracks and a single fan, and then this is the solar port that you see on the top of the campers. From here, the roofs will move over to where they install the vinyl. So they'll wrap the vinyl around the roof and attach it all down onto the camper body. So cool examples here. We're starting to get some more campers into play now that we're further down the production line. This one looks like it just had the roof installed. So vinyl siding, and then the roof, that thin aluminum gets wrapped around that corner and locks the vinyl into place. And then they come in and install the trimming that wraps around the outside edge and aesthetically makes it look nice and helps secure the roof in place. Over here, you have a camper without a roof. So kind of cool, two examples. This looks like it's pretty close to being fully skinned and fully wired and just needs the roof to be dropped into place and installed on the back of the camper. So stepping off of the main production line into upholstery land. This is the CNC upholstery table. So everything, again, starts off as raw materials. They'll lay a roll of fabric or vinyl for the roofs out on this table and then cut all of the panels out before it gets assembled. For example, these are roof panels. So this is a vinyl material. Four-wheel has perfected their vinyl roofs at this point. You'll very frequently see campers that are 30 plus years old running around with the factory vinyl still installed in them. It's the same material that they're going to be using in rafts and stuff, so it's very, very robust. And then there's a UV coating on top of it to help with sun damage. From there, we'll move down the line. You've got windows here that go into the roofs. This is a thermal pack that'll go into the camper, so this is an add-on option that makes it better in cold and heat, and then also cuts down on some of the light that comes through the vinyl. So from there, you'll see there are 10 separate stations where employees are here hand sewing everything right here in America. So again, everything's done here in-house at Four Wheel Campers, which is something really cool. It allows them to control production from start to finish. they need to make any small tweaks during production to kind of perfect what they're making, they're able to do so on the fly, and they don't need to talk to another manufacturer to have them tweak something. It's all done right here in-house. So again, back on the main production line, there's lots of different campers here in different stages of their builds. So it looks like this is a Fleet rollover couch or side dinette. It needs the big window installed on the side. Over here is a Hawk camper. You can see they're starting to get like the reefer fan installed, shore power, and water fill. As we progress down this line, you'll see more and more is being done to the campers. So these ones now have windows installed. This Project M is getting its exterior gear tracks. Here's that same camper with the large window installed and its Fiamma awning. So they're getting everything installed, like the exterior outlets, awning, rear lights, and awning lights. And once all of those accessories installed, you have more of a production unit that's finished up. Once it gets to this phase where everything's mounted and wired, they actually plug the whole camper in and power it up and test everything. They make sure every marker light turns on, fan turns on, everything opens and closes as it should. And then from there, it goes on to the full QC stage where they will quality control each camper, which will double check that work and then also ensure that all of the options you selected on your build are correct. So the color's correct, cabinetry colors, seat fabrics, exterior colors, all of those odds and ends, as well as options. So for example, this one has a shower cube, where that one might not have a shower cube to it. There's a lot of different things that you can add or subtract from your campers to make it yours. So 4 Wheel Campers has a dedicated employee that all they do is quality control. So they'll take this sheet, which is called a traveler, which has everyone's build options as well as where it's being shipped to. This one's going to my buddy Matt in Colorado. So they will check all the options on your camper and physically check off this list and say, yes, they got this option. Yes, they got this color, to make sure everything is perfect. So we have a bunch of finished campers here. So after QC, the campers will come over here into staging where they will be set up onto the pallet racking or onto the ground in preparation to be loaded on the trucks to ship out. So we got a Hawk Plus, we've got a Fleet, Slide In Hawk, Project M, Project M, Project M, and a whole bunch of other units that are prepped and ready to go. So jumping over from where there are finished new campers going out the door, we have 4 Wheel Camper Service Center. So 4 Wheel does a lot of repairs here in-house. So if something happens to your camper, you bump into a tree, something breaks inside of it, you can bring campers back here or to your local dealer to get them serviced. So these are actually customer campers that are here right now getting repairs done to them. This Hawk actually has the interior ripped apart, getting some repairs done to it. You see the panels off over here. It looks like I got a new Max Air fan on the roof of it. Stuff happens to your campers. Things can go wrong. Either you can break them or just stuff happens. So it's really great knowing that 4 Wheel is here to service them, as well as the whole dealer network is too. Do you need help? I'll help you get down. So 4 Wheel Campers operates their own fleet of trucks and trailers that deliver campers across the country. So here's 2 examples of trucks that are fully loaded, getting ready to leave on Monday, headed out to dealers. So they're going to be shipped out in loads of 5 to 6 campers on average. Those loads can be widely varied from slide-ins to flatbeds, Project M's, and everything in between. And that wraps up our 4 Wheel Campers factory tour. Finn and I are about to go jump in this truck and go and pick up my wife and son from the airport. We're going to spend the week traveling the Northern California coast with some friends, surfing and camping. 4 Wheel Campers is based here in Woodland, California. If you'd ever like to come out to the facility and come take a look at it, you're more than welcome to. Myself, I'm Basil. I own Basil's Garage, and we're out of San Diego, California. We build trucks as well as sell campers. So we do suspensions, wheels, tires, bumpers, flatbeds, power systems, the works. We also are dealers for 4 Wheel Campers, so if you're looking to purchase a camper, let us know. Happy to help get something in the back of your rig, or go to any local dealer for 4 Wheel Campers and get your dream rig built.